Inventory.
Agent deceased. Safe area entered. Now entering an occupied dark zone. Serious trauma detected. Agent down. Agent signed. Safe area detected. Entering occupied dark zone. Serious trauma detected. Now entering an occupied dark zone. Inbound cargo plane with dark zone drop. Rogue agent neutralized. Rogue agent neutralized. Nearby rogue agent killed. Rogue agent eliminated. Rogue agent neutralized. Contaminated gear detected.
Incredibly gifted. You can't beat me with a baseball bat. I'm from a place where you better be different. These niggas aiming at your baseball hat. Put extra hope.
Alright, agent, so I am Inferno the Plug. You can reach me on YouTube or in Discord. The Discord that I've been invited to is Get Money Clicks LLC. That's going to be all together. The LLC has a space in between it. You can reach me on YouTube at Bang Dead Gaming, no spaces. And if you need to see me on PSN or send me a message on PSN, it's going to be XX Ferno the Plug XX all together, no spaces. Now today I'm going to be talking to you about my go-to assault rifle build. It's basically all DPS, very hard-hitting weapon damage. This is my go-to when I'm having trouble, and it can be used in a group or out of a group, as you've seen in the beginning footage that I showed. So first off, we're gonna go over the specialization that I am in. And first off, I am in Technician, and I'm using Technician for 3 attributes on this thing. I don't really need the EMP grenade, but I use the Amped plus 50% skill power. I use the linked laser pointer, Technician laser pointer that pulses targets at which it's aimed. Underbarrel attachment for long rails, and then I use the Technomancer. Equipping a skill grants plus 15% bonus armor. When a skill dies, recover 20% armor. Now this is going to be your survivability. Me personally, I'm not too big on armor. I never was, so this is my TU6 build. Even in my TU5 build, uh, I had around, like, maybe, I think my max was 300k armor, and it was better then because all I had to do, I had so much skill power. I drop a chem launcher and my health would be right back up. All I had to do was face tank the person I'm fighting in that, and I would usually win. And then it was the Eagle Bearer, but we know the Eagle Bearer has fallen off since then. I see a couple builds out there with it that's good, but I necessarily don't use it yet. So the first thing we're going to go over to here is attributes. Now, I see a lot of people, and they're having problems with building PvP and PvP, PvE builds. Now, when it comes to this, everything is literally just the attributes, and that's talking about the reds, the blues, the yellows. You have to calculate those right. Now, with a specific brand set, and mixing all of these brand sets together, the max you can get for attributes is 23, as far as I've seen. Because on my tank build, I think my max was 23 actually. And a lot of times, the only way to get to 23 attributes, you're gonna have to throw in gear sets such as True Patriot, Negotiator's Dilemma, stuff like that. So 23 is the number you're looking for max, and you can't go over that. It's like I said, as far as I've seen, I've never seen another build go over 23 attributes all together, and that's the red, the blue, and the yellow. Now, what I'm working with down here for armor, I have 329.8, and for the health, I have 69.3. Skill power, I'm at 1655 for my defender drone. That's my first gadget I'm using, and 1632 for my booster hive, and that's what I'm going to be using for my second thing. Now, I use the booster hive to get away. When it comes to shotgun builds, you definitely don't want to be close to them. All I have to do is get about mid-range, turn around, and I can burn them before they hit me. Also, you want to use that for getting the cover to cover. You definitely don't want to get hit by a rifle or anything like that. Like I said, this build is all situational. It works better in a group because then it's harder for them to get to you. But when you're playing solo, you're gonna have to take that frontal hit. That's why we have that defender drone. But that defender drone also heals you for that Technomancer. So you just gotta know how much damage you can take before you need to get out of there. Now, what I'm using for my weapon, I'm using the Police M4, and I'm hitting at 21.3k. The attributes I'm using, I have the 5% critical hit chance. I have the Sturdy Mag, 20 rounds. I have the linked laser pointer, and then I'm using the Flash Hider 5.56 with the plus 5% critical hit damage. Now, when it comes to this, I'm also using the Measured, Allegro, and Rooted. Now, I would much rather have extra there and protected reload on my gun. I just haven't found that one yet, so I'm still looking for that. And I need it to be at max damage level, so that's going to take even more farming. But as of right now, this one works fine. The only guns that I've seen that can use the laser pointer for Technician is going to be the Police M4. You can use the P416. You can use the Carbine. I've seen a couple LMGs that maybe can. Well, I'm not going to say that. Personally, the only LMG I've tried with the laser pointer is the Black Friday, so I know for sure that you can use that on the Black Friday. if you wanted to switch out, say the gun per se, and use something different, because that could actually work. Actually, if you tried it with this build, I tried the Black Friday with a different build. I don't think I'm going to use the Black Friday for this build specifically. So that's a gun that you can use as well. Then my secondary, I'm using the Ruthless or the Merciless. They're the exact same gun, and I'm using that specifically for brutality. That's going to be wild holstered. That nigga shot has a 5% chance to deal 100% damage as explosive damage. Now that comes in handy big time, especially when synergizing with my talent pieces that I have on my gear. The last gun I'm using is the double barrel sawed off. It's got 247,000 damage. My premeditated is not active. I use jazz hands and protected reload. Now I literally have this just for protected reload. I'm looking for something else to put there. I might do like overlap. Overlap gives you the +5 stability, but we'll see later when it comes to that. This build's not finished yet. I do want to make a tankier version of this, but my straight DPS isn't even done yet because I need to swap out these backpacks. Now another thing we're going to talk about is when it comes to the perfect talents, because I haven't seen many people go over this. Now when you go into the DZ or conflict, these talents drop and what they actually give you. So if you're using perfect spotter, or you're using perfect spark, perfect berserk, all of those drop down in damage value, because now you're switching from PvE, which is where I am now, that's why it says 20%, to PvP. So when I go into PvP, I'm hitting 15% with that extra weapon damage, not 20%. And if you have the regular spotter, you're hitting 10%. So most of the time, I wouldn't even recommend using the regular spotter for a build like this, especially if you're looking for straight damage. You want to just go with the perfect spotter. Now on here I'm using hazard protection. I'm using the hazard protection because I have low armor, I have low health. I can't afford to get hit with a stinger hive. I can't really afford to get hit with a seeker, to tell you the truth. But if I see them before they see me, I will kill them before that skill gets off. No lie, I've done it. Next thing I have is the 328 skill power, and then of course the perfect spotter, and then in my utility mod slot I have +5 reload speed. I wasn't really going for the skill power. I could definitely switch that up if I wanted to get my skills up, but I'm not looking for that right now. Right now I'm looking to counteract that sturdy mag with that -10% reload speed. Now the next one I'm going to go to, I'm just going to go to this one next because this is actually the one that has my other utility mod on it. So I got the Strategic Alignment China Light Industries backpack. So I'm going to get that +10% explosive damage, which is great for the Merciless. And I have the 5.5% critical hit chance, 18.5% total armor, and then 17% skill haste. Now right there, I would much rather have skill power. I just didn't roll that way. Then we have our perfect spark. Now like I said earlier, I'm not going in with 20% weapon damage. I'll be going in there with 15. And if you're using a regular spark, you're going to be going in there with 10. And then I have the harden. And then for my utility side, I got the 5.5% reload speed. Now that's completely negating that 10% that I had on my rifle for the sturdy mag. So now I'm actually up by 0.5 for the reload speed. Next thing I'm going to go over is my chest piece. Ferocious Calm Fenris Group. This is a named item, of course. You can only get this in the DZ. First, I went for the reason I got this chest piece is for the assault rifle damage. I had nowhere else to put a Fenris. I mean, I could have put it on the holster, but then I would have lost 2 reds. I definitely didn't want to do that. So I went with the Fenris Calm, Ferocious Calm, sorry. Now I got the 10% assault rifle damage just off of that. Then I got 10.5% critical hit chance, 8.5% headshot damage, and 15% weapon damage. Then I have the perfect berserk. Now it says 10% here, but I'm actually getting 6. So when my armor's completely broken, I get 30% weapon damage off this. I have self-adjusting. I don't really need that because I'm not healing myself. And then I have the mod slot here. It's giving me 6.5 weapon damage to my assault rifle. And then I got damage to armor at 1%. Then we're going to go on to the holster. Now, I wouldn't use any other holster other than the True Patriot. If you're going for a 2-piece or a 3-piece, because you always get the 2 reds, The alternative is the Gilligard holster. Those are like my go-tos when it comes to holsters. I don't really use much else. Now, with this one, I have the 8% critical hit chance. I'm looking for something around 10 or 12 because I know the Gilligard can get 12, so I'm hoping this one can too. And then I just rolled health on there for a little bit more survivability. Then I have the 6% assault rifle damage with the 4%. Well, we'll just say this: we got 5% assault rifle damage, 3% marksman rifle damage with an added weapon damage, and then the same here: 5% assault rifle damage, 2% rifle damage with an added 1% weapon damage. Now we're on the gloves, and what the gloves have for us is 8% assault rifle damage and 364 skill power. Now, what I'm looking for a glove that already has a yellow rolled on there. Most likely, it'll be skill power. I have not seen a True Patriot glove drop with skill haste yet, so we'll see about that. But once I get the glove I need, I can roll that 13% assault rifle damage on here. And then for the mod slot, I'm using the 4% assault rifle damage added and the 2% rifle damage with plus 2% weapon damage added overall. And then we have the knee pads. So the knee pads, they're giving me the 12.5 total armor. Then I have insulated, and then I have a 6,000 armor, 2.5, 7,000 armor with 2% total armor. Now, when it comes to this here, I know we had some negotiator dilemma come out with like 13%, but it's so close. I'm not gonna re-roll this. I'm gonna wait until I get the max damage roll for the base armor on this type of knee pad. So I think it comes out at like 30.1 and I'm at 28.7. So then I'll add the 13% to that one. I'm not going to use it on this one since it's so close. It's literally just like 0.5. And if you did not get that knee pad, man, oh man, you might as well just start farming Gilligard again. That's all I got to say towards that. So yeah, now with this build, like I said, it is squishy. I've used it in conflict. Conflict, it's pretty easy because I'm in a team. If somebody's not looking at me, I can get them. If I shoot first, I can get them. And then a lot of times, if they shoot me and they don't get me below half of my armor before I turn back and shoot, I can kill them because of the berserk. You're not going to want to fight a rifle from long distance. Clutch builds, it's all situational. If you can get close to him and hip fire, you definitely want to do that. If you're fighting them straight up, head up in a mid-range conflict, you definitely want to strafe. If he misses, he can't heal. Just remember that. If he misses, he can't heal. I'm not going to talk about negotiators because you're going to be dead after you take his armor off because it's so low armor. Also, if they're playing mouse and keyboard, that's something else you got to worry about too, because their accuracy is going to be way dead on. I play with a controller, but I have run into some people out there that play with a mouse and keyboard. But the last thing too, I see a lot of people playing with the Hollow Man mask. The Hollow Man, this thing right here. When the game first started, I loved this mask. But then I started seeing so many people using it, buying it, and then I actually found out how useless it really is. When it comes to this mask, you're getting hazard protection, right? All the hazard protection you need on one mask, and that's great. But to tell you the truth, if you can find a blue roll with 50%, you don't need this mask. You can get 100% hazard protection from just like 3 pieces. Well, we'll say 4 in all. So you need to roll, of course, your helm or your mask. You're gonna have to roll your mask to 50%, and you can do that with anything. Like you've seen, I've done here. I got the 50-piece Gilligard. That gives you 20% hazard protection. So that's 70, and then all you need is the insulated. That gives you the 30%. You're at 100% right there. Now, since they've opened up the gear so that you can get everything You can get the mask, you know, you can get the backpack, you can get the gloves, you can get the knee pads, say for China Light or any other brand set that you're using. It makes it a lot easier. All you have to do is farm for that specific talent. And once you get that specific talent, you roll it on your gear, man. That mask is messing up a lot of people's gear sets and they don't actually understand it. It could be way more powerful and they're not understanding it. Say like if I wanted a Providence there and I was running like a 2-piece already, I can get the 5% weapon damage. The only way I would run that Yao gear is if I was using a 2-piece. I would not run it any other way because you get 5% weapon damage on the second piece. So that's just me personally. I don't mess with the Hollow Man mask. So yep, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you liked the intro, and if you need to reach me again, PSN, I'm at XXFerno the plug, XX, and that's going to be all together. You can also reach me on YouTube at Bang Dead Gaming, and that's going to be no spaces in between there. And then also, if you need to reach me on Discord, or if you're trying to get some raids in, if you're fresh, new, my man Agent Blue, he helps people with all that. You can message him on PSN. It's going to be Agent_Blue502. You can just send him a message. He'll probably send you He'll send you a message right back to join the Discord. And I hope you guys like it. If you have any comments or you want me to try out a new build or help you out with a build, don't be afraid to ask, man. Just hit me up. So that's all I got to say for you guys today. Peace.
PlayStation